I investigated a small town's dark secret. What I found still haunts me. Chapter 1. The Assignment. 3 months ago, I was just another freelance journalist scraping by on clickbait articles. Then I got the email that changed everything. Subject line, "They're poisoning us. Help." The sender claimed to be from Greenhaven, a tiny mountain town known for its pure mineral water. Attached were water test results, arsenic levels 10 times the legal limit. But when I called the lab, they denied ever running the tests. The sender's email vanished from my inbox an hour later, like it never existed. I almost dismissed it until I found a Greenhaven resident's obituary. Cause of death, undisclosed illness. Then another and another, all under 50. All worked at the same place, Clear Spring Bottling Plant. That's when I bought the bus ticket. I told myself it was for a Pulitzer. Truth? I needed rent money. But Greenhaven didn't need a hero. It needed a witness. Chapter 2. The Town That Didn't Want Me. Greenhaven looked like a postcard. If the postcard was printed in the 1970s and left to rot, the motel clerk took cash only, no receipt. "Tourists don't come here anymore," she said, avoiding eye contact. I didn't tell her I wasn't a tourist. First stop, the diner. I ordered pie and asked about the water. The waitress froze. "Our water's fine," she snapped, spilling coffee on my notes. An old man at the counter muttered, "Ask the night shift." When I turned, he was gone. That night, I snuck into Clear Springs' parking lot. Security guards patrolled in pairs. I snapped photos of trucks dumping sludge into a ravine. Then, headlights. I ran. They didn't chase me. They didn't need to. They knew where I was staying. Chapter 3. The Source. Someone slid a note under my door. Midnight, Pine Creek Bridge, come alone. The man wore a ski mask. Name's Elias. I worked at the plant for 20 years, he said, thrusting files into my hands. They're not just polluting. They're covering up cancer clusters, threatening families. My wife. His voice broke. She died last week. Accidental overdose. Bullshit. The files were damning. Internal memos ordering managers to dispose of complaints, medical records deleted. Elias warned me. They own the sheriff, the mayor, even the damn doctor. Trust no one. I didn't tell him I'd already emailed the documents to my editor. Big mistake. Chapter 4. The Accident. That wasn't. 2 days later, my rental car's brakes failed on Dead Man's Curve. I woke up in a ditch, phone shattered, Elias's files gone. The tow truck driver said I was lucky. But when I checked the brake lines, cut clean. The sheriff wrote it up as weather-related. Rain, he said. I showed him the cuts. He shrugged. You city folks see conspiracies everywhere. That night, my editor called. Drop the story, he ordered. Clear Springs lawyers are threatening to sue. They say the documents are fake. What about the lab tests? I asked. Silence. Then, what lab tests? My backup files were corrupted. My cloud storage, empty. Greenhaven was erasing itself. Chapter 5. The Bargain. A teenager approached me at the library. My mom was Elias's nurse, she whispered, slipping me a USB. He told me to give you this if he... She couldn't finish. The drive contained a video diary. Elias, gaunt and pale. If you're watching this, they killed me. But the real proof isn't here. It's in the quarry. Coordinates: 43.7721 degrees north, 115.7910 degrees west. They're dumping something worse than arsenic. I bought a burner phone, a GPS tracker, and a knife. I didn't believe in heroes anymore, but I believed in spite. Chapter 6. The quarry. The quarry was a graveyard, barrels piled 10 feet high, oozing black sludge. The labels said it all: PCBs, asbestos, hexavalent chromium, carcinogens banned since the 80s. I filmed everything: the barrels, the waste pooling into a creek. Then, boots crunching gravel. I hid behind a bulldozer as 2 guards argued. Boss says dump the next load at the school construction site. Cheaper than disposal. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. You're not leaving alive. I ran. They shot out my drone. But the SD card, that survived. Chapter 7. The Betrayal. I uploaded the footage to a private server. Then my source called, the teenager from the library, except her voice was colder, older. You've been useful, she said. But the story ends here. The screen flickered to a live feed, Elias's empty hospital room. He died screaming your name, she said. Now it's your turn. Tires screeched outside. I grabbed the SD card and bolted. They burned my motel room, but they missed the safe deposit box key taped under the sink. Chapter 8. The Truth and the Lie. The story went viral, not because of me, because of her, the teenage source. She held a press conference, tears streaming, claiming she risked her life for the footage. Clear Springs settled for $50 million. She got a book deal. The real kicker? The quarry was cleaned up overnight. The barrels? Gone. The EPA report called it a localized incident. I'm writing this from a roadside motel. They'll find me eventually, but if you're watching this, check your water, check your bosses, check your friends. Because the thing they're hiding isn't in Greenhaven anymore, it's everywhere. Chapter 9. The Pattern. Greenhaven wasn't alone. Cross-referencing EPA reports, I found identical clusters, towns near Veyron Holdings factories. Cancer rates spiked where Blackroot, their eco-friendly fertilizer, was used. I tracked a shipment to Cedarville. The driver? A ghost. Social media deleted. His family relocated. I broke into the depot. Barrels labeled organic reeked of sulfur. A security guard caught me. You're too late, he said, tossing me a photo, my apartment, burning. They're already in your city. Chapter 10. The End Game. I leaked everything: coordinates, manifests, voice recordings, anonymous channels, protests erupted, Veyron's CEO resigned for health reasons. But the night the EPA raided Cedarville, I got a text. Check your sink. The water hissed, bubbled, black. I vomited blood. They'd retrofitted Blackroot into pipes nationwide. No cure. Just a countdown. This recording? My confession? Dig up your yard. Test your taps. Burn it all. Because if you're watching this, you're already infected. But maybe, just maybe, you can stop them.
The only time you pull a stunt like this is when you're trying to make up for something.
You are too smart for your own good, you know that? Alright. I got this job. Pays well. Really well. But, I gotta leave town for a little bit.
What's a little bit?
Like, a year. At the most, and then I'll be back before you even know it, alright?
You're bailing on me.
Come on, don't be so dramatic.
What, so it wasn't bad enough to leave me in that place? How could you do this to me, Sam?
Wait, I'm doing this for you. The money I make is for the both of us. And then in a couple of years, when you're out...
Years? Take me with you.
I can barely support myself.
I'll pitch in.
I know you think the orphanage sucks.
You have no idea.
Yeah, but it's the best thing for you right now. Alright? Just gotta trust me on that one.
It's not fair.
Hey, nothing about our lives has been fair. But we've made it work, right?
Sure.
Well, you know, the bike wasn't the only surprise. And I guess I'm gonna have to ruin the next one.
What?
I found Mom's stuff. Everything that Dad sold, I tracked down the buyer.
If you're saying this just to make me feel better...
No, I swear to God.
Where?
On the other side of town. What do you say we go and get it back?
You mean steal it?
It's not stealing if it was ours to begin with.
I'm pretty sure the cops aren't gonna see it that way.
Well, then let's not get caught.